welcome back to another video of Dead by Daylight. My name is Cubeproductions. Today we're using Skull Merchant as always. Using a really interesting build where basically we're going to use the perk Hex Crowd Control to our basically fullest potential to try and make use out of it, because the perk is actually really good if it actually stays up. So first, Hex Crowd Control. What the perk does, basically if a star were to perform a rush to vault, that vault automatically gets blocked by the entity forever until the hex is cleansed, and the entity can block up to 5 vaults at a time. Then we have Hex Undying, that way in case our hex totem does go away, Undying goes away instead. Now there is a really weird interaction between Undying and Hex Trial Control, which I'll explain as we continue to do the game. Then we have Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. Basically, if a survivor were to be hooked for the first time on a Scourge Hook, the gem with the most progress will automatically lose 20% and start regressing, and the survivor's onset gem will also scream. And then lastly, we are using, of course, because we need more gen defense just in case we end up getting obliterated, Grim Embrace. Basically, if a survivor would be hooked for the first time and then we move away from the hook, every single gen will automatically block for 10 seconds. But if we hook all survivors, the gens will be blocked for 40 seconds and the Obsession's aura is shown to us. We have Ultrasonic Speaker to make survivors be scanned faster. And we have Prototype Rotor to make our drones move faster, which allows us to scan them faster. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I read every single comment, and thank y'all for all support y'all been showing my videos. It's been great. Make sure you also join the Discord server. Link will be in the description, where you can post anything you want and also post all your builds and talk to me and everyone else in the community. Without further ado, let's get straight to the game so I can show you how great this build is. Okay, playing on the Dead Sands. A really cool name for a map, I'm not gonna lie. It's from the Forsaken Boneyard. Basically, it's a different variant of the Area Crows, you know, one of the worst maps ever created on the entire planet. But it's actually better because of the fact that basically the shack spawns in the middle. It's kind of like, I can't remember the name. It's kind of like Wrecker's Yard, I think it's called, where basically the shack spawns in the middle and then all the generators and loops are basically across the map, with the shack being the central building. This map's actually really cool. I believe this is my first time ever playing on the map, by the way. Also, I made a really sneaky play right here. I hit this girl. I saw 2 people run over here. So I hit the girl, and then after I hit the girl, I proceeded to use my untenable side effect to go back towards the generator to catch the girl who's on the generator off guard. Because she probably thought to herself, oh, I'm safe now. I see the girl being chased. And I'm like, no, actually, you're not. Then I catch this girl off guard by mind gaming her. Luckily for me, though, the survivor decides to stay here, and then and because I'm untouchable for like a split second, and then I also mind you my red stain. I literally just hit her when hit the pallet, and then the 4th survivor's right here too. So I found all survivors immediately. Then this girl's gonna try to do a drum right in front of me. I'm like, what are y'all doing? And then I decided to try and go after her because I'm like, I got everyone injured already in the first like 5 seconds of the game starting, which is kind of great. But this map is really weird. I don't really have an opinion on it yet, because honestly, I just don't. Right here, as you're gonna see, the window's gonna get blocked thanks to crowd control. But like I told you all at the beginning of the video, crowd control and there we go. As you can see right there, crowd control and Hex Undying have a really weird interaction. So the way Hex Undying works is, like I said before, if your Hex totem were to get cleansed, instead Hex Undying is cleansed instead, and it takes the effect, and all tokens that were on the Hex totem will stay. Now, Hex Crowd Control does not actually have tokens on it. Instead, it has a system where basically it tells you how many vaults have been blocked. So, while yes, also I don't know why this girl doesn't do that right in front of me. While yes, that Hex Crowd Control did not get cleansed thanks to Hex Undying, because Hex Crowd Control does not have tokens, it just displays the amount of blocked vaults. Once it gets cleansed and then gets reapplied, it does lose all of its block windows. So that one window that you saw blocked earlier that made that turned Hex Crowd Control to 4, it went back to 5 because of that. Now I never knew this before because I never actually used this perk combination, because I never really use hex perks anymore because, like I told y'all before, they get cleansed too quickly, as you'll see in this video. So because of that reason, like if my hex totem gets cleansed so fast, I actually just don't want to play the game anymore because there's no point in playing. So, but I'm doing pretty well right now because this map is kind of small. Like Area Crow is a giant map, like a big map. The main building sucks, and the loops on it are really annoying. Also, I don't know what I even hit right there, but I hit something. I'm going to mind game and hit her. So, but because Dead Sands is much smaller and there's no really annoying main building I have to worry about, this map becomes a lot better for me to deal with when it comes to Skull Merchant. Now, another thing about this map is this is my first time, I believe, playing on this map. I have seen gameplay of it because when Kaneki first came out, this new map also came out. but I believe I've actually never played on it ever since then. Other than I remember playing on it, so I didn't really have an opinion on it. I have played on it actually as a Survivor before, because I was recording Survivor gameplay for y'all, and I ended up playing on this map before. And this map's actually really cool for both Survivor and Killer. I like it a lot. Personally, I think it looks really cool, and I like the fact that it is small. I don't like big maps when I play Scrum Merchant. Y'all know this. The bigger the map is, the worse Scrum Merchant is, because big maps make it harder for Scrum Merchant to actually play the game. Because the bigger the map is, the harder it is for her to actually do anything. So right here, I'm trying to mind game, but I realized what's the point of trying to mind game the shack, because it's the shack. So luckily for me though, this girl runs right in front of me, and I down her. And I don't know what is happening, honestly. I'm kind of just obliterating them at the moment. And Hex crowd control is working out. As you can see, they vaulted the shack, so now that window is completely blocked. So because of that reason, the shack is basically useless, because once they get rid of that, once they drop that pallet, it's really, really bad. Now this window is blocked too, so now she has to go towards the pallet. But the problem is, there's no pallet here. I don't know why, and I've never seen a loop like this happen before with the pallet. Normally the way the loops work is, if the window is where it is now, there's a pallet right there. But then if the window is not where it is now, there's a pallet on the other side. But instead the game was like, no pallet at all, and I'm like, oh, okay. So because of Hex crowd control, she actually got completely denied the ability to even loop. And that's why Hex crowd control is so good. You basically deny survivors the ability to even try and go for loops. And I have two survivors hooked right next to each other, so I might as well just stay next to both of them. So I'm gonna let one go for the save while I go after this other one, the Ada. So then I look, and the girl has what's it called? One girl actually had deliverance, so she actually unhooked herself, which was kind of funny. But one thing I will say is the fact that basically, when you or maybe she didn't have deliverance, maybe instead she just used that one perk that makes you broken, but you also fully heal somebody else. I can't remember what it's called. Oh yeah, for the people. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. But long story short, because of crowd control, these survivors literally denied the ability to play the game, and that's why I love Hex crowd control so much. Like I said, I rarely talk about Hex perks on my channel because I have the worst luck ever. If you're playing a killer, like for example, Trapper is really good at like protecting Hex perks, and also Scrum Merchant used to be really good at protecting Hex perks too when she first came out, because the way her power worked was as long as the survivor was inside of the drone radius, the power would what's it called? The power would stay longer. But for some strange reason, I mean, the power would show them on the radar. So because of that reason, you could easily tell if somebody was on your hex or not. But because that's not how it works anymore, no. But understandable, because it was free intel for absolutely no reason, so I can kind of see why they got rid of it. But like, that was really useful. But now, Stormbringer can't really protect her totems anymore. Speaking of that, I don't know, that was a really weird interaction. As you saw right there, the survivor was hindered because they got hit by a drone, right? Then they tried to do the drone minigame, but I interrupted them. So because they got interrupted, they redid the drone minigame. I chose to keep her alive this one time because I'm a nice person. But anyway, as you can see, I'm destroying. I had to wait. The reason why I was quiet right there is I wanted y'all to understand how I felt during the match. During that match, I was like, I only can keep one of y'all alive, and I already chose one person, so you have to die. I'm sorry. She's like, please kill me. I'm like, yes, ma'am. And I feel bad because like I obliterated them. I'm not gonna lie, I did so well, and I didn't do anything special. Like I just played the game. Well, that's not true. I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning of the game, I did really well. Like I injured all 4 survivors basically in the first like 2 minutes of the game, and because I used my untenable sound effect to my advantage. If you watch my last video, you'll know that I had said one really cool tip I'll give y'all is, I said, when you're chasing a survivor, every single survivor on the map basically gets notified that you're chasing the survivor, because you look at the left, it will show the icon of survivors being chased. You can use that to your advantage and basically chase a survivor, but then become untouchable and go somewhere else. It'll make it seem like the survivor is being chased, but in reality they're not. And then you're untouchable, so survivors won't really pay attention to the fact that, oh, maybe they're trying to sneak up on me. And instead what ends up happening is they'll easily die. So right here I'm gonna try and give the girl the hatch. Now I'm gonna try and find the hatch. But I feel like that's what a really good play I did at the beginning of the game. And then because of that my really good play, I ended up winning as a result. Also, this map being really good also kind of helps. Now, keep in mind, this is my first time playing this map, so my opinion on it will probably change in the future. But for now, I like how small it is, so I'm pretty happy. But that's the one tip I'll give y'all. But Hex Crowd Control is really fun. I just don't like the fact that hexes get cleansed so easily. Most of the time, my hex totems will get cleansed in like the first minute of me playing the game. So because of that reason, I just normally don't post hex builds anymore. Like one of my favorite perks is actually Hex Ruin. Because Hex Ruin is a really good perk for this slowing down the game. It's passive slowdown. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do basically is get survivors off gens and make sure my hex totem's alive and we're good. But because Scumber not the best at protecting hexes anymore, she kind of just sucks. But anyway, we finally found the hatch, so I'm gonna give her the hatch. And she's like, please and thank you, I love you so much. I'm like, don't worry, there's some really good Scrum Merchant players out there, and I'm one of them. But yes, that's the first game of the video. If you enjoyed, stick tuned for the next one, because the next game is awful, as you will see. Let's get straight to it. After we look at the perks. They had normal perks, they weren't really playing seriously. But anyway, to the next game. Okay, playing on Wretched Shop. Really weird map for Scrum Merchant. Pretty big map. I don't hate it, but don't like it either. The reason why I hate this map because, like I said, it's really big, and also not really much cover for Scrum Merchant to actually protect, like basically be hidden. So the reason why this map is like, and the reason this game was awful is you'll see very quickly throughout the entire match. So first and foremost, one girl using Object Obsession, I think it's called, where basically the perk where you can see the killer and you are both looking at each other. You can see each other's auras. So I'm gonna start chasing this girl, and I'm like, don't worry, I have crowd control. Once she loops the main building, it gets blocked. So I'm pretty happy. And as you can see, already one windows blocked. So right there, someone did my totem already, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. He did Undying, which is why I still didn't lose any of my numbers. But then the other totem is done. I'm like, okay, I lost this game already. And this is an example of a game where I don't ever use hex perks, because hex perks get cleansed in the first minute of the game starting, and it's just the dumbest thing on the planet. And it's because like the hexes spawn nowhere near me, or they spawn in a really random position, and I'm just like, I lose. So I'm not gonna talk about the full game, but long story short, just know I lost this game, and we're gonna go straight to the next game because I literally got obliterated. Because basically, for the rest of the game, I only had 2 perks, so I couldn't do anything. But anyway, let's see how this game ended. So I skipped the end of the game because I didn't want to show y'all like the full game because I got obliterated. But the reason why I got obliterated right here was because basically I already was getting destroyed because I had lost 2 perks, and the issue is I had used all my Scorch Trip and Resonances, but it didn't really matter because I was trying to basically, I had to tunnel someone out the game in order to win the game. That was the only way I was going to win, because as you can see, I have no perks. But what ended up happening is they had that one Tory Lane perk, where basically they unhooked somebody, took away their hook state, and then as a result, I could not win the game anymore. So I lost all my perks, all my momentum, and had nothing else I could do. So that's the reason why I lost that game. And another reason why I don't use hex perks, because you get really unlucky sometimes, and as a result, you lose the game. But anyway, let's look at the last game of the video so I can show you what it looks like when your hex perks actually stay on the map. Okay, on the final game of the video, we have the Disturbed Ward. I hate this map. The map is gigantic. Just like the last map we had, the map is gigantic. The difference, though, is the fact that my totems, spoiler alert, are going to actually stay on the map. So, because of this reason, I actually have the ability to play the game. And like I said before, I keep saying it, I'm going to keep reiterating it. Hexes are like a big problem in WWA, in my opinion. When a hex perks are supposed to be strong because of the fact that they can be cleansed. But the problem is, some killers have, well, first, some hexes can spawn in really good spots. Like for example, this hex totem right here is not really in the best spot, but it's also not in a terrible spot either. So like the chance of a survivor finding it is kind of slim. But then I have, like in the last game, where I have my hexes are in really bad spots. I could have probably grabbed her honestly, but I thought she was gonna run, so I definitely just swung immediately. So I want her to vault the window, that way it gets blocked by hex crowd control, but she didn't vault the window, so I'm like, dang it. So instead she tries to run out another Object of Obsession. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why I see their aura sometimes, but I'm trying to mind game. But then I realized this girl was trying to go for a flash if there was something. I don't know what she's doing. So I was like, well, since you want to be here, I might as well go after you instead. And I swung thinking she would be, you know, at the actual window. She's not. That gets blocked thanks to crowd control. She's going to drop the pallet because I'm going to go around in front of it, make her drop it. There we go. Make her vault. Yep. And then we swing and kill her. Mind game city. Kind of. But anyway. That's that last game. I just wanted to show y'all like what happens when you are lucky like I am, and that's the reason why I don't use hex perks. See, the thing about that though is like this: if you're in a situation like that where the hex is bad and you can't protect it, like Storm Merchant can't really. Like I said, other killers in the game can, which is why it's kind of impossible to balance a hex perk, because if you're a killer, like old Skull Merchant, Trapper, if the totem's in a really good spot, what else is there? Singularity, Knight. If you're a killer like that who can actually protect a totem, then the totem is kind of broken, because if you just protect it constantly, the survivor's never gonna be able to cleanse it. But if you're a killer who can't protect at all, like Hag, because Hag moves slowly, and you can just crouch her traps, and then you can literally just go to the totem. And other killers, although she kind of scared me right there, I'm not gonna lie. She scared me because I heard the gen being completed, so I thought she was on the gen, but in reality, she was hiding from me on the stairwell and didn't see me. I didn't see her till the last minute, and she really scared me. But anyway, I made her run away. She also vaulted that window, which means now it's blocked, which is really useful because that window is actually really strong, and that might come in handy in the future of this game. So we'll see what happens. But if you're one of those killers who can protect totems, not really, then like the totem is really strong. But the problem I have is, let's assume all your totems were gonna go away. Well, it's good. It's a good perk that can help with that. No, it's not Hex Retribution. That perk is garbage. That perk needs to be reworked, by the way, but it's not going to. That perk's terrible. I'm talking about Hex Pedimento. Hex Pedimento was a great perk. Although I don't know why this ace right here is trying to loop me when literally there's a drum right here, and then he runs straight in towards me. I don't know what he was doing, but whatever. Hex Pimento, but Hex Pimento got nerfed to the ground, and because that is probably one of the worst hex perks ever created now, it is so bad that it's not even worth running. Because in case you don't know what happened, that perk got completely nerfed to the ground, because basically not only they nerfed the Jin regression, but I saw her immediately go for the sabotage. I'm gonna go towards this hook instead. I'm gonna pray I can actually get it. She probably wanted me to hit her or try out the bio block or something, but I was like, low, no. So because of that reason, I'm gonna go after her now, and I should be able to get at least one more scan, but I do not, so that sucks. Also, nothing wrong with using a sabotage build, really, and I'm glad there's only one person using it instead of like 7. But it is kind of annoying how survivors even, like, how you can even do that and there's no counterplay to it, which kind of sucks, but whatever. So, but yes, basically, if you can protect the totem is good, if you can't, it's bad. But to fix this problem, we had a perk like Hex Pimento, but Hex Pimento is just so bad at the moment that it's not even worth running. See, I stuck on a wall. I'm pretty happy. So it's even bad, and because they made it so that way not only does the perk not even give the survivors a 30%, what's it called, debuff to doing gens, it's now like I think 20% maybe, and it's 20% or whatever it is per totem you lit. Not only is that it got nerfed, it also got nerfed where basically if the survivor can see the totem's aura, I believe if they're 16 meters away from it. So the only way to make it useful is to literally have all survivors be blinded, which again is not gonna happen unless you have Hex the Third Seal. So it's just like a terribly designed perk now, and I understand that behavior wanted to nerf it because I guess people use it, but like it wasn't even overused. It has so much counterplay, and it's like every time a good perk that's generated exists, the behavior nerfs it, and then they complain, and then survivors complain, why are the killers tunneling? Why are the killers playing so sweaty? Well, maybe because we have no good perks to use anymore. Like, hello. Meanwhile, y'all have like the best healing perks in the game. Nothing wrong with that, because I like the healing perks a lot. Actually, I have no problem with the healing perks. But it's just, unless like they're being overly used. But like, my thing is just like, why can't the survivors and the killers have fun, interesting perks? Why is it that the killer always gets like nerfed to the ground? I don't get it. But also, it's not really a rant video about complaining. It's more like just a video of me talking to y'all about, oh, I love Hex crowd control. Like right here, as I told y'all, that perk literally came in handy right there. Because that window's blocked, he literally cannot vault it, which makes this really good. It's actually like Hex crowd control is honestly like the perfect perk for Skull Merchant. If it wasn't a Hex perk, it'd be broken. But it would also be really useful because of the fact that it would just work out in my favor. So now that I know Ace dead on hook, he's definitely priority to get out the game, because as y'all know, I still have 4 Scorch Hook pain resonances, Why is that? Because the Scorchhooks spawn in the worst location ever created on the entire planet, so I have to work really hard to actually get them. The main building is really bad because it has like 3 god pallets in it, but because of the fact that I swung faster than she got there, I was actually able to down her. Now I'm trying to hook her and Scorchhooks, finally use one of them. It should be on the generator she was just on. Now, top priority is I believe Ace and somebody else is dead on hook, but I can't remember who the other person is. It might just be Ace. But long story short, got the Ace, priority, murder him. Every single gen's block. Of course, I hooked the obsession when I finally got Grim Embrace full stack. So now I gotta try and find survivors when they're every single gen's block. Because no survivor can do that. They can heal of course, but they can't really do gens because they're all blocked. So because of that reason, I have to try and find somebody if I can. They were just over here. That's where Ace got unhooked. Then I see somebody get unhooked, so I'm like, okay, that means that they're at this gen. They're at this hook, so I'm gonna try to become untouchable to catch my guard. Luckily for me, I do. So now I'm like, I'll go after you because I know you are not dead on hook, but you just got hooked, so you should be able to be killed quickly. That girl has a toolbox, so she can easily sabotage my stuff. Now I look back at it, that's a terrible totem location, but whatever. It's good from certain angles and bad from others. That's why it's kind of bad, but I should be able to use it because I remember my totems haven't been cleansed yet. So as a result, we have a really easy time thanks to crowd control. Not luckily, sadly, they have not vaulted this window yet. But now she's vaulted it. So now we've used all 5 vaults. I believe now what's gonna end up happening is basically the survivor will, well, once they vault a different window, the first window that got blocked will be unblocked, and then that new window will be blocked. So I think that's how crowd control works. But crowd control is a perfect perk to use Storm Merchant. Also, because I'm untouchable, the Aurella ends up running towards me, and I end up hitting her. So I'm gonna get out the game because I kind of have to get out the game or I lose the game. We have 2 gens left. We're playing on this map. I have to play smart if I want to win. Also, I kind of have to utilize my Hex crowd control to the fullest. I thought she had dead hard, so I keep putting my radar. I've also said in my previous videos, a really good way to get survivors to end up using their dead hard is to use their radar constantly, because they'll see a different animation and think to themselves, people have to swing, and in reality you don't swing. Now she's dead. So now I see most survivors basically trying to go on this gen right here, because this gen is the one they want the most. So I'm gonna try and go after them, but then I realize I don't feel like actually going after these survivors because the shack's right there. Yes, the shack window is blocked, but there's a more important person to go after. His name is Ace, and Ace is the general across the entire map. So because of this reason, I know I should have enough time to go after Ace, kill him before the other survivors can do any gens. So this is what we're gonna try and do. As I said before, make sure you play smart. Not really make sure you play smart, but this is how I play when I play Storm Merchant. I gotta play smart because I have to use any little advantage I can get. So when I'm playing the worst killer in the game, that's how you win. So I'm gonna try and scan him. I didn't really hear him get scanned, to be honest. So because of that reason, I didn't know where he was. I missed my hit combat. He vaults the window. It gets blocked by the entity. Well, it gets blocked by Has Crowd Control, I believe. So that's good for me. And then we're going to try and scan him. There we go. I should be able to slow him down right there. There we go. Vault the window. Yep. Vault the pallet. Break this. I'm praying I can hook him before they actually complete the gen. Because the generator together, I think, takes like 82 seconds. I could be wrong. Maybe 70 something seconds. But yes, I hook him with a score trick. Keep in mind, I did keep all my score tricks available to the last second. I don't know why I got so unlucky with my score trick pain residences spots. Like literally, they all spawn either at the corner of the map or near each other, which kind of sucks. Or the way I hooked the survivor, I hooked them in really weird spots. She's like, that hit me? I'm like, yes, it did. Now I'm going to. Then this girl gets claw trapped, so I'm like, oh, I know what to do. So I become untouchable. She's on the gen right now. She thinks you can do it. I'm like, no, you don't. And I'm going to murder her. Kick this gen and try and hook her on a score hook. Is the one close to me? The answer is yes, but I'd rather hook her here because it's closer. And I can go after the other girl who is probably close by somewhere. I'm sure I'll go after her. I don't know where she's at though. But as you can see, because of the fact that we actually get to keep our hex totems, so we actually got the ability to play the game. The problem is, where's the survivor at? So then I get the chase notification. Somehow she's here. So I'm gonna go after the girl. But actually, really good dead hard. I didn't even think she had dead hard, to be honest. I didn't even try and mind game. You know, I literally just thought about it. But I don't know why. I thought she didn't have good heart at all. So you're gonna drop this pallet down. There we go. Drop the pallet. Thank you. Drop the pallet. Now, there's no way she can make it back to the pallet because I am just too fast. Scrub Merchant is sliding across the ground in those heels, and I slice her throat. For her back, technically. Oh, don't ask me what the skin is. I don't know what it is, but I try and make it every single video. I try and change the skin I use because I remember my subscriber Swansea. He literally said, "I like the fact that you change the skin every video. It makes it feel like an actual different game, like a different video each time." I'm like, yep. I usually use the same skin. Some of my favorite skins are Cubeproductions has like my favorite skins ever in the entirety of Dead by Daylight. But I was like, it is kind of cool to miss and match skins. Also, because I saw her on the radar, because she ran into my drone, I know exactly where she is. I'm going to claw trap her. I'm trying to claw trap her actually, if I can. That way I can get her de-wounded if she can't even use that heart. But sadly, I'm unable to claw trap her. Because I apply it right here, she's going to not drop it and keep running for her life. I'm like, okay. So I'm praying the hatch doesn't spawn here. But like usual behavior is like, "Lo, you thought. We'll make the hatch spawn next to you." So because of the reason I hear the hatch, and I go, wait a minute. I'm going to go after that. So I'm praying she doesn't hear it. But it's fine. I should be able to down her first. But then I realized I can't down her. But it's fine. I heard the hatch. So I'm going to go over here and close that. She gets claw trapped. Which means she can no longer, I believe, their heart. But it's weird because I don't know what happened, but I think she got claw trapped, right? Which means she was deep wounded. But then I looked and the deep wound's gone, so that must have mean she has adrenaline or something. I don't know. Yeah, she definitely has adrenaline, which is kind of cool actually. I didn't know this. If you have adrenaline and you're deep wounded, you get automatically healed, which is kind of makes sense because deep wound is kind of like an extra health state in a way. But now that I've won the game, I don't really have to try anymore, so I'm not really taking this chase seriously. Every time she blocks a window, it gets blocked, so I'm not really that worried about it. I don't know how she got all the way over here, to be completely honest. But I think it's because of the way I record my videos is kind of weird. I don't hear very well because of the way I record my videos. So right here, I'm gonna swing. Miss, because she actually was like, "Lo, you thought." I'm not gonna go towards the window. I'm in the pallet, and I thought she was gonna vault the pallet this time, but she actually doesn't. She instead goes back towards the right again, so I'm like, okay. I'm gonna follow the red stain. I'm gonna follow the scratch marks. Then I see her all the way over here. I'm like, okay. This girl is literally looping me pretty well. Why didn't she do this during the beginning of the game? Which is not funny. But the problem is she's going towards the shack, and the shack window is still blocked off things. It has crowd control. The shack pallet, however, is still there. So make her drop that. Now, really smart play right here. I'm gonna go this way, because this forces her to either go through the main building or go through the shack or go on the outside. But because the window's blocked, she really is not going to make any distance at all. So she dead. Perfect. And now we get to use our drone and kill her like the seal. So Burton's like, "I found you." She's like, what is that?" I'm like, death. Body. Trash. And then throw the trash on the ground like it's garbage and collect the body. Okie dokie. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I read every single comment, and I also love reading y'all's comments. Make sure you also join the Discord server. Link will be in the description, and I will see y'all in the next video. Have a nice day.